Hey everybody, Rick here, and today we're going to continue the conversation about the new card series. I want to talk about what went in to the card series this year. Since this year is like the legacy, being that it's the last card series, we wanted to really proverbial go out with a bang, and we really did. And to do that, we got with Derek of Steel Flame. You know, Derek and I have been really great friends for many, many years, and I really wanted to collaborate with him and get his input. And a lot of in the card series this year is a lot of Steel Flame, a lot of Derek input, and he really pulled out the stops. So let's start with the case. It's a Pelican case. The case itself isn't new. We've done that before. However, what's really cool is Derek did the nameplate for the cases, and he did it in a kill box style. In other words, he shot. That was part of what he did for his shooting part of it. This is the nameplate that he did, and Derek shot each one, and he also signed each one. That's going to be the case involved. The inside of it is kind of pretty much standard of what we've done in the past. However, what's going in it is what's really, really exciting. So Derek and I talked, and one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to do a Damascus blade. For this series, of course, being a legacy series, I had to go with the Spanto, which is obviously the proverbial Hinder blade shape and blade grind. So the handle we did in bronze DLC, a little bit different. Obviously, you're familiar with more of the black. We decided to do bronze because of the fact we put in like a wood checkering in the titanium scales, and the bronze almost mimics the wood color that you're familiar with in like gun stock checkering. So made a really, really great look to it. And of course, we did a battlefield pickup. Each knife for each card in the deck will be deep engraved. The suit will be deep engraved on the handle, and you see on the lock side. So makes for a really, really cool look. Now let's talk about some of the Steel Flame, what Derek has added to it. Now this is what's really, really cool. We talked about what we could do that really adds a lot of Derek Obotake and Rick Hinder personally into each of these knives. And Derek came up with the idea of me shooting each of the suits with a different firearm and which was a different caliber. So for instance, the clubs. So the clubs card, I shot with a 9mm Beretta, which is what the military uses currently. And then for the Ace of Hearts, I shot with a 308, and that was with a M1A1. Springfield Armory M1A1, which that was a short-lived with the U.S. military back at actually the beginning of the Vietnam War era. The Ace of Diamonds, or the Diamond suit, is the 1911, which is a 45 ACP, which was developed at the turn of the century in 1911, obviously, and is still in use today, which is really kind of cool for all you firearm buffs. And the spades are the 5.56, which is 5.56 NATO or Remington 223, and I shot that with a AR-15. So one of the things I wanted to mention is each one of these that I shot are included in your set. They were shot all in one deck. So we used one deck when we went back to the range, and so because the deck that you're getting is going to be a clean deck, so you can actually play with them. But each one of these were shot from the same deck when we went back to the range and had some fun that day. It was a lot of fun for me because we went out for a day of shooting. So anytime I get an opportunity to do a day of shooting, I'm a happy camper. Okay, let's get with the clips. The clip and the tab that Derek did. Obviously, you can see that is 3D, and wow, this is it's an amazing. This is Derek's Reaper skull, and done in silver. really, really cool. And obviously it overpowers. It's a really cool addition to the knife. And all of you, of course, know about Derek's skulls. It's super popular. But what's really cool, the way he did on these, is this is the back end of the brass. And what's really cool is we took the actual brass casings that I used when I shot the card. So this is the actual brass casings of these two bullet holes in the card, in the skull and in the filler tab. So that's pretty doggone unique, and I think is unbelievably cool. The third thing from Steel Flame is the HMBS, which is a warrior skull is sitting on top of. These are absolutely cool. Actually, the knife I have in my pocket is the exact same. I like it so much. So of course, I made sure and had Derek include that in on the knife. So that pretty much is it on the knife, and there's a lot into this knife. Now, let's talk about the other items. Obviously, we have other items in the card series. That's why we call it the card series. And so let's get on with the pen. Now, a lot of you know our investigator pen. However, this one's different. We decided to lengthen it out. I've had some requests on lengthening the investigator pen out to a longer length, to a regular pen length, and so we did that. We did that on just for the card series. It turned out fantastic. The first ones we did in brass. Now, what's really cool about this is this is also the first time that we're offering Battlefield Pickup in brass. Everything else has been done in steel and titanium. This is the first time we've done BPU in brass. And it turned out amazingly cool. The suits are deep laser engraved, and I gotta tell you, that's fantastic engraving. And for the 3D element on the clip, Derek went with the warrior skull, which again looks fantastic, with the gunmetal finish, of course. Okay, so the third element in the card series this year, the coin. So it's been a while since I've done some coins, and so that was the other reason I wanted to do a coin for this year's. And again, to follow the theme, we went with a brass coin in the brand new brass Battlefield Pickup finish. The back side of this coin, the front side is the familiar horse head logo. The back side, we did what looks like a cartridge, which follows the theme of the cartridges that we have for the Steel Flame elements. But what we did was really cool. For the primer, instead of milling that primer, we actually took a pin or a punch and actually hit it. So it actually looks like it was hit with a firing pin. What's really neat about that is not everyone is not the same. So again, it's those little features that we really put a lot of thought into to make it as authentic and really cool looking and hand done as we can get. So this year we used the same deck that we've had in the past with the two opposing logo horse heads. Now I want to mention that these were not shot. So you could actually play with this deck. It doesn't have bullet holes in it. Okay, one of the really cool things about what we did, what Derek did on the skull clip and the filler tab, is the brass. So this brass, which was the same brass that we shot that day, that I shot that day, he inlaid into the skull and also put on the filler tab. So it's just really cool. And also a fun part of actually what I got to do that. Okay, guys, to summarize this year's card series, when are we going to offer them? That is going to be obviously Friday, which is Black Friday, and they're all going up at the same time, 12 noon. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Jokers, I know there's already been some questions about the Jokers. Those are going to be offered at a later date, their own specific time. And wow, those are going to be incredible. So Derek is working on them right now, and they're going to be You guys are going to love them. They're going to be really, really over the top. So again, guys, thanks a bunch for tuning in for this year's card series summary, and we'll see you Friday at noon.